All right, today we're going to dive into a really fascinating piece of Bitcoin history. We're talking about a legendary cryptographic challenge that's had researchers hooked for years. But this isn't just going to be a history lesson. We're actually going to look at a tool that lets you get hands-on with this whole mystery yourself.
So, let me ask you, have you ever heard of the legendary 32 BTC puzzles? These things popped up back in 2015, and they're basically a set of cryptographic challenges, each one holding a Bitcoin prize. For the longest time, digging into them required some pretty serious technical skills. But that barrier, well, it's starting to come down.
And the tool that's making that happen is the Bitcoin KeyHunt app. It's designed to take this super complex historical puzzle and just boil it down into a clean, visual, and really efficient interface that pretty much anyone can use to start exploring.
What's great is how simple the workflow is. It's really just 3 steps. First, you choose a puzzle, and it shows up as a visual grid. Then, you get to build a potential private key just by flipping individual bits. And finally, the moment of truth. You check your key status right on the blockchain. So let's see how it actually works.
Okay, step 1. This all starts with the core interface, the bit grid. This is basically your canvas for playing around with the puzzle's raw data, and it's designed to be super intuitive.
So once you pick a puzzle, the app just lays out this clean grid for you. A good way to think about it is that each little square is a single bit, a 0 or a 1, that makes up the private key. It's a really powerful way to see what's normally just a super long, complex string of data.
So you've got the grid, that's the blueprint. Now comes step 2, where you get to be the architect and actually start assembling a potential key.
And this is where the app's design is just brilliant. You don't need to know how to code or anything. You literally just tap the cells on the screen. Each tap toggles a bit from a 0 to a 1. It's this very hands-on, tactile way to build a cryptographic key.
Every single tap builds a completely new, unique private key. And this is where the real research begins. You can start messing around with different visual patterns, you can test out theories you might have about the puzzle's structure, and you can instantly see how even tiny little changes create totally new keys.
Okay, so you've built a key. Step 3 is the big one. This is that moment of truth where your digital detective work connects to the real world by checking its status on the Bitcoin blockchain itself.
With just one tap, the app goes out and queries the blockchain for you. It comes back almost instantly with the status of the address that's linked to the key you just made. You get a clear answer. Has this puzzle already been solved? Does it still have a balance, or is it still an unsolved mystery? And this brings up a really important part of the app's design: security. These on-chain checks don't get routed through some central server. Nope, your device talks directly with trusted public blockchain explorers like blockstream.info, which means your research activity stays completely private.
So that's the how-to, but the why behind it all is just as important. Let's talk a little bit about the philosophy of this app, because it was really built from the ground up to be a pure research tool.
I mean, this quote from the developers really just says it all. In this age of constant subscriptions and data tracking, this is such a breath of fresh air. You pay for it once, and you have a tool that respects your privacy and just focuses on doing its job. No distractions, just the tools you need.
And that's exactly what they mean by a local-first design. Everything you do, your theme, your activity counters, all of it is stored securely on your device and only on your device. Nothing gets sent to a server. You don't even need an account. It's your research, and it stays with you. Simple as that.
The great thing is, the app kind of grows with you. The free version is perfect for just getting your feet wet, It lets you explore the grid and run a few checks. But as you get more serious, the paid tiers unlock some really powerful features, like unlimited random checks, pattern analysis, and even automated tools to help you test your theories way more efficiently.
Now, it's really important to be clear about what this app is for. The developers are very explicit about this. It's a research and utility tool. It's not a lottery ticket. The whole point is to explore a piece of crypto history, to analyze patterns, and to really just enjoy the process of discovery itself.
At the end of the day, these puzzles are a living piece of Bitcoin's history. They're like a cryptographic time capsule just waiting to be explored. And with a tool like this, access isn't the problem anymore. So the only question left is, what patterns will you discover?